just try to give them as much information as you can to make a sound decision that allows you to be productive moving forward in your career, whatever you do. So, we'll continue those discussions and see how it shakes out.
Todd, the senior class, what most impressed you about them when you arrived last year? I guess they were juniors then.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the buy-in as far as not that everything was always perfect, but it was the ability to take coaching, the ability to respond to coaching, the ability to improve weekly, and try to improve on things, and just really the buy-in to, get us where we are as far as being relentless in our approach, prepare the right way. Football there's a certain amount of competitive toughness that you need to have to play the sport and to play it well. And if you have that, it sometimes can be more important than scheme, because you end up just out efforting your guy or playing with more relentless, effort. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just the buy-in that the players have had, their resiliency to continue to move forward and try to improve every week.
I asked you last week a couple of questions about David, but so I didn't realize you recruited him.
I recruited him to Louisville, yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that story last week?
You didn't ask me.
I didn't know it.
I didn't know I had to ask the questions and answer them.
Well, you're supposed to kind of help us.
So, I recruited him, so I knew what kind of player he was. I knew the kind of quality he had. So that kind of helped me, honestly, moving here.
David Reese before you.
The thing I remember most is his passion for the game. I mean, he came up and worked out for me for like twice, as far as working out and showcasing his talents and things like that, which really impressed me, because a lot of times once you offer guys, that's kind of good, you know what I'm saying? But you could tell he liked football. You could tell he was passionate about the sport. You could tell he had a certain physical presence to him, and all of that's kind of played out through his career.
He committed to you, right? Was he committed to Louisville, but then kind of knew that you?
He was not committed to us at that time.
Oh, he wasn't? Okay, good.
No, he was committed to Michigan.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
For a while.
Yeah, for a while.
How nice
you guys hooked him up.
How nice is it having Sunita back?
Great. I mean, the guy practiced today, and we'll put him in the rotation and, see how it goes.
Is Grenard having an All-American season, you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you look at where he's come since he's been here, the first of all, the conference in which he played, the numbers he's put up, the impact he's had on our team, not only as a production and his playmaking ability, but his character, his work ethic. I mean, I think he's had as good a production or season as, anybody that would make that board.
Mm-hmm. So recruiting, juggling act, Dan was discussing today.
Yeah.
How he says that you barely even sleep. I mean, what is the challenge of being able to kind of keep all those balls in the air?
As far as recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting while you're trying to.
Time management, man. That's why you go to college, right? Because you get your degree.
I'm not good at it.
Really, all it means, if you get your degree, you have the ability to structure and manage your time, right?
I guess I have a degree. I can't do it.
It's really about time management and understanding. Like last week, we had so much as far as prep with our players, game planning, but then recruiting also. Same thing this week. We got a big recruiting weekend with some guys coming in. So it's just managing your time, being organized, and having a plan for what you want to do. And it kind of changes after the game. We'll go full cycle into the recruiting aspect of it. Then once the team we're going to play is announced in a bowl game, then you got to get into that planning. So then that takes another phase. So I think the biggest thing is it's like anything, is your preparation and just managing your time.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, because Dan was talking about it today to someone's question.
Yeah.
Just that there's some
you have
real
to juggle it,
challenges
and
there.
It's kind of like you got to be able to hit a curveball. You know what I mean? You got to be able to adjust. And I think that's the biggest thing with some people is it's not always etched in stone. It's always going to be exact, and you just kind of got to adjust and go with the flow and get the things you got to get done and manage it.
Separates the better programs, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's about players. I mean, if you get the kind of players we expect to get moving forward, and they play with the kind of relentless attitude that the program's going to have, then we have an opportunity to reach all our goals.
Games like this with recruiting, what kind of impact can it have? I mean, a night game, senior
I think the
day,
biggest
a lot of
thing,
emotions.
night game, senior game, I think anytime we can pack the swamp and get players here, I think it's a good thing. They get to see the environment. They get to see, the electricity in the stadium and those kind of things. So I think anytime we can fill the swamp and play in front of our fans to guys that we want to get here, I think it's a good thing.
Last thing, FSU. Just what stands out? What challenge
I think
are you seeing on tape?
they're really talented at the skill positions. I mean, if you start with the runners, both running backs, 3 and 4 are really good players. I mean, they can hit a seam, they can hit double-digit runs. You gotta attack them because they can run through tackles. When you look at their skill guys, they got skill outside, they got length, they got some size, they got guys that can win the 50-50 balls up, and they can make plays that way. They're athletic at tight end, and then I think their quarterback, I know they played a lot of guys there as of late, but one's a guy that he has some ability. I mean, he can throw the ball and make plays, so you've got to honor their skill and respect their skill and just understand that, we've got to make sure that we're ready to play and prepare to play to our identity and to our level of play.
Do you guys coaches have to drive the point home about, hey, interim coach, team that's struggling, or is this not a game with senior day?
No,
FSU,
I think you do.
all that?
I think just like, for example, when we went to Missouri, we emphasized the weather, the time of day we were playing, the environment. It wasn't going to be like playing at LSU. But it still matters. You know what I'm saying? So you had to emphasize all of that when we went there. So I think here you've got to emphasize the quality of players that they have, the explosive ability that they have, and this is a big game for them as well as us. And we still have a lot riding on the game. It's going to affect the kind of bowl we can go to, and it's our seniors' last chance to play in this stadium. It's really the last time this team will play in the stadium, and we want to make sure we end that on a high mark.